guys, this is Carrie from Tone Wars. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. We're really excited to hang out with you and to have you be part of our community. If you like what you see here, here's a couple ways you can support the channel. We always appreciate super chats very much, but here's a couple other ways you can support the channel and get something in return other than just content. If the super chat feature doesn't work for you, or if you're watching after the live stream, Jared's PayPal account link is listed below. Any donation of any amount is greatly appreciated. Since the show is sponsored in part by Motor City Guitar, we've included an affiliate link below. By clicking the link below, everybody wins. You're getting a great deal on some awesome equipment, you're supporting a store that has tons of inventory and great customer service, and you're supporting Tone Wars. And on top of all of that, if you live outside of the state of Michigan, whenever you buy anything from Motor City Guitar, you don't pay any sales tax. And last but certainly not least, you can visit our website at tonewars.com. The link is below. There you will find some awesome Kemper profile packs with the tone and feel guitar players love. You will also find presets for the very popular Helix, HX Effects, HX Stomp, and Pod Go. Alright, the show's about to begin. We look forward to hanging out with you, so grab your favorite drink and join us in the live chat.
Welcome to Tone Wars. Hey guys, what's happening? Thanks for joining me tonight. Sorry I didn't go live yesterday. Long day, and it would have been a horrible stream because I was not ready. So when you don't get home in time to prepare properly, you're gonna have a bad stream. Cheers! Thank you all so much for being here. I probably shouldn't be drinking this because I'm so tired. I've been shooting my redo video all day with the Kemper versus Quad Cortex which will be up tonight. As soon as I'm done streaming tonight, I'm going to upload it. I got it done just in time to upload a half an hour before I went live, but I didn't want the upload to interfere with the stream. And it's kind of a longer video, so I didn't know how long it would take to upload, so I didn't want it to interfere with the bandwidth here. So please stay tuned for that. That will be up tonight. As soon as I'm done here, it's uploading. And it's a very interesting video. You'll see why I redid it and pulled the other one down. And please watch the whole thing all the way through, because I'm not trying to get extra minutes. I'm literally wanting you to watch the whole thing because there's a lot of really good information in there. Some stuff I discovered that it's very important that I share with you guys, and I don't want anybody to miss those things, especially for context reasons, you know, and information. So it's a very interesting video. Yeah, so thanks for bearing with me on that. I just want to say hello to everybody. Jason Lewis, what's happening? He says, I'm just here for the Arnold Does April Fool's jokes. What's up, man? Good to see you. Jason Taylor, what's happening? He says, let's see if this thing's all hype or not. Lives up to the hype. I still may buy one anyways. Yeah, it's a cool unit. It really is, and we're going to find out how cool it is tonight for sure. Sean Hockey, what's happening? Gunnerman 54, he said, should I get this or not? We'll get into that. We'll definitely get into that. Oh, man. Steve Venchek. Paul Smith, what's happening, buddy? Mike Jacobs, what's going on? Excellent play. Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I appreciate that, Paul. I'm really tired today, so it's my 5th day of going on 5 hours of sleep. So, yeah, it's been an interesting week. And I literally, from 7 o'clock this morning till about 5 o'clock today, I was shooting and editing my redo video. So it's been a long day. Sean Anderson, what's happening? Thanks, Sean Hockey. Like slippery jellyfish all over the fretboard. Hey, man, I'm weird too, so it's all good. JJ's House of Jams, what's happening? CS says, you look tired. I am. Dude, I am so tired. I have, it's a 3rd cup of coffee, and I usually only have 1, so I'm really tired today. Warmcore, what's up, Jay? Sean Anderson, I just bought the Diezel 3. Dude, good for you, man. That's awesome. That is awesome. Steve Venchek just got a Marshall DSLR, DSL 20. Oh, cool, man. That's awesome. Big Mike, what's happening? Matt Nolan, hey, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you. From across the pond over there, I got 34 people. Awesome. Oh, cheers to you all. I should have had somebody here to poke me with a stick in case I fall asleep on you. What you heard was the Diezel Herbert, that guy right there, captured in here. So what I did is I profiled channel 2, or I should say captured. I captured channel 2 plus, in the plus mode, for my rhythm, and channel 3 for my lead. And yeah, it really did a great job capturing the amp. It really did. The spirit of the amp is definitely in there. We have to keep in mind it's the recorded version of the amplifier. You know, but it did a great job. I mean, it represents the recorded version of the amp very well. I'll play a couple riffs for you now on it, and so you can hear it. 1 second. So yeah, it really does sound great. I'm listening tonight. I don't have my in-ears in yet, but I will later. I'm listening through my Cali Audio speakers. Man, these speakers are stupid. They're so good. I enjoy playing through these so much. So when I play this through these, it really reminds me of playing the real amp through the aux box. It's that same feel and all that, and it's very similar sound. I haven't put them side by side, but it is very good. And we're going to get into dialing in a preset today from scratch. I'm going to just take one preset. I'm going to dial in something from scratch with one of my profiles, and we're going to go into some of the captures that are in here, and some I think there's some presets in here too. I don't really know. I've literally been working and shooting videos and reshooting videos for 3 days now, so I haven't had a lot of time to research like what's really what in here. As far as I know, captures are under captures, but the other stuff I don't know if they're emulations of amps or if they're like they're neural things that they sell for your computer. I don't know if they're in here yet. I think they're just models that are in here. The other stuff, the models are okay. You know, the modeling's dead. I mean, modeling's going to go away. I think profiling, capturing, that's really the way of the future. It's just so three-dimensional, and it's so rich sounding, it's so full, and the feel is way better. I can almost tell instantly when I play a model because it's got that sterile feel to it. I feel like I'm playing like rusty strings, but the captures or the profiles definitely feel much better. So I will say that we will play a model in here in a little bit. But yeah, you heard the Herbie, and it was really easy to profile. They got like a graph on here. So if you've never profiled before, if you can read, which I know all of us probably can, you just pull up the graph and it tells you exactly where. It's like a diagram, tells you what to plug in where, and you just hit capture, and it just does it, and it's just insane. Takes about 4 minutes, and you come back down. There's no other work you got to do. Just save it, name it, and then save it and play it. I mean, that's pretty much it. It's very simple. I literally had this thing unboxed for 20 minutes, and I was already capturing my amps. 20 minutes. That's pretty cool, when you consider... that's the thing. We're so spoiled now with technology that you can literally just take one of these and capture your amps with it without even reading manuals. Remember back in the, early 2000s, I mean, we were reading manuals for weeks trying to figure out how to work stuff. And now it's like nothing. It has the instructions right here, and, and the screen's great. I love the touch screen. I love how big it is, how easy it is to use. I mean, the tactile version of this is very good. Now, I have not put it on the floor yet and used my foot on the stomp switches yet. So they are a little closer together than what most units are. But I don't know if I'm going to run into problems or not tonight. We'll find out, because after I'm done doing the dial-in, I'll put it on the floor and see what that's like, because I literally have not done that yet. It's been on this little table the whole time. So let me... let's see here. Oh, Jay, thanks for the super chat. Arnold mistakes quad cortex for a workout routine. Today I'm doing the quads. I'm doing the leg raises. Oh, wait a minute. I have to do this first. Yeah, that's what I have to do. I have to do this. This is a quad. This is not a quad anymore. This is modeling my quads. I wonder if I take a cable and shove it up my booty, and then if it would profile my quads. I don't know. We'll find out later. Half Hashed, what's up, man? He says, sounds very authentic. It does. It sounds really good. I hear a lot of, familiarity with my amps. A lot of times with models and stuff, you play and you're just like, it's just got this crappy fizzy top end, and you're like, just sounds artificial. Just sounds like a sort of a okay-ish EQ version of my amp and like a tone match kind of thing. But this really did do a good job. And the feel is great. It really is. I'm a huge feel guy. If I play something and it doesn't feel right, I'm done with it. I can't deal with it. Anything that doesn't feel right, I will not play it. I don't care how good it sounds. These have to be happy. If these aren't happy, I don't give a crap what it sounds like. Jeff Cornell, what's happening, man? What's happening? Ken Masters, how do the controls respond? Does changing the gain, master, volume, EQ behave like the amp? Good question. Yeah, is the volume and stuff does. I honestly have not changed any EQ settings on my captures at all because I feel like however I had my amp set up is, I mean, you can weld these knobs where they're at. I don't ever need to touch them again. So how I have them set up is perfect for me. So when I captured it, I didn't have to do any EQ settings afterwards. I mean, it was like done. It sounds amazing. So I'm done, you know. So I haven't done much of that, but the volume and stuff like that, everything seems pretty normal with it, you know. It does a really good job, you know. I mean, you could tweak on this thing really easily, but let me just say this. Any product that you have to tweak the hell out of to make it sound good and watch all these tutorials and all this stuff, they didn't make the product right. You know, I mean, it's you know, when you order a pizza, it doesn't come with instructions on how to put it together to eat it. You know, I mean, it's like it should come hot and ready. Like, you open the box and you eat it, you know. I mean, if they send it to you and it's just a big pile of ingredients and you got to make it yourself, it's like, what the hell's this? I ordered a pizza, and they're like, well, yeah, I mean, just, you know, put it all together and throw it in the oven, you know, and you're good. Like, that's the last time I'm ordering from you, you know. I just don't think that in this day and age, you should have a billion videos out there with guys going, here's how to make this sound good, here's how to fix that, and it just shouldn't be that way. It should come out of the box, you should open it up, and like what I did, in 20 minutes you should have great tones. You should be able to profile your stuff and go. Like I said, in this day and age, you know, just not too long ago, like 10, 15 years ago, we were reading manuals for weeks and calling freaking NASA to figure out how to work this stuff. Shouldn't have to do that anymore. Everything should be user-friendly. That was a big thing for a long time. I mean, you had all this complicated equipment that was not user-friendly. Remember the Voodoo Lab, the control thing? Oh my God, I almost bought one of those, and then I saw how to use it, and I was just like, you got to be kidding me. You know, I don't think so. You know, and I'm glad I didn't buy it. Let's see here. Let's see. I hear the switches wiggle a bit, Ken says. Yeah, just a little, but I think that's just a thing. You know, it's probably just normal. You know, let's see here. Anthony Steen, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. I'm considering buying a nice FR cab. I'm loving the digital tones I'm getting. Amazing time to play guitar. No, you're right, dude. If you're just getting something for home playing, I would highly suggest just getting a really good pair of studio monitors. But if you need something super loud to keep up with a band, well, then get a Friedman, you know. But studio monitors are my favorite thing, man. I got rid of my my FRFRs because I prefer studio monitors. They sound great. You get the stereo separation, you get ping pong delays and all that stuff, and you get a true flat response as opposed to FRFRs are all colored. They all have a coloring that they do to the tones, and there's just no way around it so far. But I get it if you need something loud to keep up with the band. Do what you got to do, right? Liam Polinsky, should I sell my Kemper? You know, it's a great question. And for guys that are just getting here, I will be playing more. Don't worry. I already played, what I play? One song? I will be playing more. It's just I just want to kind of get the introductions done here and say hello. So don't worry, it'll be a lot of playing tonight and tweaking. Watch my video that I'm going to release after tonight's episode. Immediately it'll be uploading. Within about an hour you'll be able to see it. I think that'll answer a lot of your questions. I totally understand where you're coming from, but the short answer is watch my video to really get a really in-depth kind of answer. But my second short answer would be I wouldn't be hasty about selling a Kemper right now because there's some things I discovered when I redid that shootout that really made me kind of like pause a little bit on some things. You know, it's going to be very interesting when you watch it. I learned a lot. I learned a lot. And I want to share it with you guys. So, and just remember too, like this thing just hatched. It's just learning how to walk right now. So it's going to be a while before you get all the effects and the features. This doesn't even have a looper yet. And that's something I have to have, because I use these tools here for writing, and if I don't have a looper, I can't use it to write with, because I need that looper. You know, it helps me, because I don't know theory, it helps me come up with runs and riffs and stuff like that over chords or chord exchanges that I need to put in a loop so that I can figure out what to play there. So it really does come in handy. And the effects are good, but there's not a lot of them. You know, I mean, Kemper right now, between the two units, I mean, Kemper's in like college compared to this thing's in freaking kindergarten regarding effects. And I don't mean that as a slight to the unit. I'm just saying as like the maturity of effects and the amount of effects. I mean, it's college versus kindergarten. Again, the effects are really good, but there's just not a lot in there. Not a big variety, you know. And a lot of people want that when they get digital platforms. That's one of the reasons why they go that route. They're like, oh, look at all the stuff. Well, there is a lot of stuff, but not a lot, if that makes sense. Let's see. Let's see here. Just trying to catch up to you guys. So Steve Venchak, that's what I like about your channel. Every product you review, you tell the truth. No, I appreciate it, man. I mean, that's really what it's about. That's why I pulled that other video down. You'll see why. Just watch it, and if you watch every second of that video, you'll see exactly why I redid the video. I spent all day, 7 o'clock till 5 o'clock, doing that. And I worked really hard on that for you guys. And I tell the truth. Like, I want to be honest, and I want people to come here and trust me. Because if I lose your trust, I lose you. Why would you ever come back here? You know, and I don't ever want that to happen. So your trust is number one to me. Your trust to me is above and beyond any product or anything out there. Because again, if I lose your trust, why would you even stop by? Except for to maybe hate watch me. You all know you hate watch people every once in a while. I do. Yeah. So, all right. So here's what we're going to do. What do I got here? Let me do another mix for you. Ooh, let's do Out of Nowhere. But on this one, so you heard the Herbert. Let's go to the Savage. Let's play a couple riffs on that, and we'll start that, you know, start that mix here. 1 second. Let me just say this real quick. Are you guys hearing a little bit of compression on this profile, or whatever you want to call it, capture? When I do some heavy palm mutes and I'm a little looser on the bridge here, I can hear a little bit of a sag going on with the volume. Let me know if you can hear that on your end. I don't know if there's a workaround for that. I've been kind of messing around with this to try to figure that out, but it's been happening, and I checked the output level. I checked a couple things, and again, I haven't had a lot of time with this, but there is a little bit of an issue with that. I can feel like the guitar getting sucked back into the speakers a little bit every once in a while. So if anybody has a solution for that or has dealt with that and knows how to get around it, please let me know, because it's not a deal breaker, but it is kind of driving me nuts sometimes. And it's only happening on this particular profile, so it happens a little bit on the Herbert, but I don't know if it's an output thing or what. So anyway, let me mess around with this a few more and play a song. Okay, yeah, it's fun trying to hit switches and while you're playing. Man, that's it's pretty interesting. Um, Anthonstein, I have the Head Rush FR8. Would you think the Laney LFR or the Line 6 Power Cab would be tonal upgrade, or still pick studio monitors? I mean, if you're playing at home, honestly, get the Cali Audios. I mean, it's really. I mean, that's what I'm playing through right now, and I absolutely love coming down here and playing through. The Cali Audios and whatever gear. Like I use these amps most of the time through the aux box and the Calis. I run my backing tracks through them, and they just sound fantastic. If you have to have something loud for a band, the Line 6 Power Cab's decent. I haven't played the Laney, so I really couldn't speak to that. But maybe the Friedman, you can find Friedmans out there, depending on, I don't know what state or country you're in, but just find something that's loud enough, But and no offense, but the Head Rush speakers, they sound kind of nasally. They got a cold almost. Like there's this weird kind of sound that they have, and the problem with using those is a lot of times people dial in their tones on those, so that punch through the, you know, they sound right on those speakers, and then they take that same tone and punch it in or plug it into a front of house or a studio situation, and people are like, wow, you got a lot of weird frequencies going on there, because they sound good on the, you know, the head rush, but not anything else. That's why you want something flat. Studio monitors, that's about as good as you're going to get regarding flatness. So yeah, I love studio monitors. I did the whole carousel of FRFRs, and I'm kind of done with them. I'm just glad I'm back to studio monitors. But, and I use in-ears live, so I don't need a cab on stage with me, so I don't need a you know, FRFR for that either. So it really comes down to what you need, you know. Sergey, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you here. Jeffrey Blanco, what's going on, man? So you notice the compression too. Yeah, isn't that freaking weird? I mean, it's kind of messed up. It's like this dip every time. Now, I don't know, like I said, if I'm doing something wrong, so I don't want to blame the product, but I mean, it's just really strange. I'm going to play a little more for you, and then I'll switch to a different capture that I did and see if that does it too. So hang on one second. Yeah, it does it on the Herbert too. So I don't know what the deal is. It's subtle, but once you hear it, you can't unhear it. You're kind of like, especially when you're in a mix and you're doing some big chugs and it's like they dip and you're like, well, what? Where's all my stuff? Whatever happened to the earth-shattering kaboom? You know, you're like, what the hell, man? But I mean, whatever. You know, I mean, it's probably just some setting I got to figure out in here. Because I'll tell you, if that's a problem with this, if that's like just a common, it just does that, they got to fix that. That is, like I said, it's not an absolute deal breaker, but it's a bummer, you know. So, but to be fair, I'm sure it's something that could be addressed, whether it's a software upgrade or something on my end that it's a setting I got to find, you know. So either way, it's fine. Still sounds great, you know. Darren West, have you sold your Kemper yet? No, man. You got to watch that video tonight. You really do. When I upload it, there's some really interesting stuff in there. I learned some really cool stuff, and thanks to all the people in the community that reached out to me privately and publicly that just said, hey, man, you know, there's some stuff you might have not thought about or might have missed or whatever, and I applied those things. And I don't want to give it all away because, you know, I want you to watch the video, but I'm telling you, man, there's some really good stuff in there for you. Let's see here. Ken Masters, what size speakers in those studio monitors? I think these are the 6s. Yeah. I almost got the 8s, but these are great. In fact, I got a pair of like MKII's 8s on my my computer, and they're okay. They got a weird harsh top end to them, and they sound kind of cheap compared to these. And I always, every time I did anything at my desk over there, everything always sounded fizzy, but then I'd hear it like in other speakers in my truck or wherever, and it was like, oh, it sounds great. So I'm probably going to get another pair of these. Well, no, I am going to get another pair of these and put it on my desk and do something else with the MKIIs, because these just sound so much better. You know, they actually represent my sound, because I used to dull my tones down based on those speakers, and then they were too dull for other things. So these represent things very well. Even Fricker likes them, so you know they're good if he likes them. You know. So yeah, Paul Smith says Friedman or Atomic CLR. Yeah, if you're going with a loud cab, either one of those are good. I forgot about the Atomic. That's for a live band situation. What monitor do you use? It's a Cali Audio 6-inch ones. They're insane. They're really good. Darren West, I joined late. Do you have a gate on? Yes, I do. I do. Ken Masters, send your feedback to Nero. They are listening. Yeah, I definitely will. They're probably going to be watching this too. You know, it's funny. Like I reached out to them months ago and asked if they would send me one of these for a review. I can do a private review too. Like I like doing that because, you know, I mean, the thing is like some companies want you to be like that friend that, like, you know what I mean? Like before you enter a party, they go, hey, did I got anything in my teeth? My zipper down, you know, I mean, is my shirt buttoned up right, or are they crooked? You know, it's nice to have somebody that can be like, hey, before you release this and have a bunch of problems and drama online, because everybody knows with social media how that goes, it's nice to have a reviewer that can just be honest, not a sycophant, but a reviewer that could be like, all right, I take this home. Like if they would have sent this to me months ago, I would have been like, yeah, there's a weird kind of sagging compression thing going on here. You know, and what is that? And if it's something on my end, they can tell me how to fix it so that when I review it publicly, I can say, hey, you hear that sagging thing? Here's how you get around that. If you have a high gain amp or like high output pickups, maybe it's causing that issue. Here's a workaround for you. Boom, done. As opposed to their lines or emails getting flooded with a bunch of problems. That's what I like to do for people, but you know, they never responded back. Maybe they're busy. Maybe it's because my channel's not big enough. I mean, who knows? But I mean, you know, it just sucks when you try to reach out and help people and they don't get back with you. Dealing with that with another company right now. You know, but whatever. I mean, it's no skin off my nose. I play these. So let's see. Jeffrey Blanco says the compression could be from the DA digital to analog converter in the unit, maybe, just a guess. Yeah, it could be probably several other things. Like when you pull up the menu in here, there's actually a what is it called? A limiter or something in there, and there's some relationship between that and your input, I think. But I tried turning some knobs associated with it, and I just didn't really get anything to do anything. So I'm like, well, before I screw this thing up royally, I'm just going to leave it alone, you know. You know, it is a new product. You don't want to do too much, and then you're like, how do I get back, you know? Is the release time on the gate long, maybe be causing the issue? You know what? Let me do this. I'm going to turn the gate off. Let's see what that does. 1 second. No, I'm not really hearing a difference with that. I don't know. It's just really weird. I mean, good idea, though. You never know. Well, all right. So let me switch to... So you heard the Herbert. You heard the Savage. Let me go to my EVH Stealth. Let's hear what that sounds like. Okay, so there's the EVH. That was just a blue channel. I profiled. What's nice about this is you could profile, like if you have, well, let's just take the EVH for instance, and you love the blue channel for your rhythm section, but you love the red channel for your leads, you can profile both channels, or even the clean channel too, and you could put them in the same line. Make sure this is working. You could put them in the same line. Like there's the EVH red channel, there's the EVH blue channel. They're on the same line. So one is off, one is on, depending on what I want to do. So on my rhythm, let me make sure I got this. Let me mute this thing just in case it goes crazy. So basically, watch this. So now it's still on with some delay. And now when I go to my lead channel, the blue channel turns off and my red channel turns on. So that's my red channel, that's my blue channel. Rhythm, rhythm with delay, lead. Now that's nice. You know, so that way you can have all your channels in there that you want, and you don't have to worry about, you know, having one channel do everything. You know, and you're just kind of stuck with, well, I'll just use my red channel. And it switches through them, and it just does a great job. So it's nice to be able to do that. You don't have to have a whole new, like, preset for that. It's got enough DSP where you could put, you know, a couple of them in there and switch between them. And in each preset, you basically, you set it up the way you want it, and you save the whole thing, and then you're done. And I will show you how to do that. I can't believe how freaking stupid easy it is. It is insanely easy. We got 46 people here. Maybe I should do one now. You guys want me to go ahead and do one now? I can. I'll put on my in-ears. That way I can kind of hear, because if these... I gotta turn these speakers off when I'm talking, or else they'll feed back like crazy, because this mic is really hot. So I'm gonna switch to my in-ears for this segment here, so that I can hear the quad and hear what I'm doing. So bear with me 1 second here. Did a lot of planning for this tonight. I'm surprised I even had time to do this today with all the other stuff I've been doing. Okay, there we go. All right, so I'm going to leave those off. Let me unmute the the quad again. Yeah, we got to figure out that compression thing, that sag thing, because that's... Yeah, Neural, if you're watching, hit me up. We got to figure that out, because that's definitely something that should not be happening. Again, it could be something I'm doing wrong, so, you know, I definitely don't want to throw them under the bus, but... okay, so let me switch to this view. All right, so we're going to switch views, so excuse my string clack, but that's just the way we got to do this. So let me just find a new... Here we go. Here is a new preset. Now, full disclosure, I haven't spent a lot of time with this, so I might run into a couple things here, but that's what I like about this. It's pretty raw. So you just touch anywhere on the screen like I did there. So, you know, you just touch right here, and then a row of options pull up. Okay? So, obviously, you want to start with an amp or your neural capture. I know the words are blurry there, sorry. So I'm going to start with a neural capture. You have ones that it comes with, but nobody makes a better capture than you do on your own, so why would you use those when you can get one of yours, right? So let's do this. Let's do the EVH blue channel. So let's grab, no, you know what? Let's do the Herbie channel 2. Let's do that. So there's my Herbie channel 2 right there. All right. Now, okay, so you're going to notice that you can't hear anything. You're not getting any signal because right here, whoa, bumping this. Right here is your output choice. Okay. So right now it's on 1 and 2, which are your main outs, and you have to do this per preset. All right. So if you're not using your main out, so there might be a workaround later on, but I'm going to choose 3 and 4 because that's actually the output that I use. So now I'm getting something. So then you tap the amp and all the parameters open up. Okay, so you have gain, bass, mid, treble, and volume. Okay, and all these switches are associated with these knobs. Now here's a quick little learning curve tip. See how the volume knob's here and then the switch is here? Now normally, logically, you'd think, oh, well this works that because it's underneath it. No, it's this switch over here off to the side. See how it's moving it now? I don't know if you can see that because of the horrible lighting situation we have here. But so it's not always the switch that's underneath there. So if it's the first, digital, knob, it's going to be the first switch. If that makes sense. It's not always going to coincide and line up with it. So first digital knob, first switch, second, third, and so on and so forth. All right, so let's go ahead and turn this volume up. Someone was asking about the volume earlier. Okay, so now you notice I don't have an overdrive yet, so no big deal. So hit done. So I got my volume set on my amp, and now I'm just going to go. I'm trying to keep my hand out of the way of the camera here. So I'm going to push one more thing here, and just just tap the line, and everything opens up. So of course I want an overdrive. Now the overdrive that I like in here so far is the Exotic. I think that's a good overdrive. I don't know if that's the one I picked. No. So all right. So this is a good thing. So let's say I pick this. I don't want it. Just hit done. Grab it, just tap on it, and then drag it over to remove, and it's gone. That simple. You don't have to click a bunch of buttons. So let's start over, hit overdrive, and where did it go? Exotic, right here. Boom. Okay, so tap that, and all the parameters open up. So I'm going to do what you always do with these. So I'm going to turn the gain down considerably, but on digital overdrives you always want to have a little bit of gain on them because they don't act the same way as real pedals and circuits do. Alright, so there, crank the volume, leave the bass and treble alone typically is what I do. Alright, so I got that, hit done. So the next thing I want to do is tap again, and obviously we're hearing some noise, so you're going to go down to utility, watch this, boom, done. I just picked a gate and it's already pretty much good. I think it's called adaptive gate or something like that. Yeah, adaptive gate. So you can bypass it here. You can also adjust the noise reduction, how much noise reduction you want, depending on how hissy your amp is or how sensitive or insensitive you want it to be. For solos, I just turn it off unless I do a solo where I'm in and out. And then I'll put the gate so that it just clamps down slightly so I don't get a lot of feedback, but allows my notes to have some sustain to them. So there's all kinds of different things you could do with that. So that's done. All right, so let's go ahead and play that and see what that sounds like. I'm going to mute the mic real quick so you don't hear my string clack. All right, that sounds really freaking good. I'm good to go. And I did this profile or capture, whatever you want to call it, so I know it's good. I mean, I tested it, and this is very similar to what I get when I play my EVH through my earbuds or whatever. I mean, it sounds really freaking good. All right, so the next thing that we want to do is we want to add our red channel, right? I mean, why not? Because this is our rhythm section, so we're going to add, I want to do some leads, so I want to use my red channel. So let's go ahead and tap here and scroll up to Neural Capture, and then My Captures, that's where it's at. And where are we? Oh, I chose the Herbert, that's right. So I want to do channel 3. I kept saying EVH, sorry. So channel 3 on the Herbie, there's my lead channel, but I don't want both of them on, so I'm going to bypass it in my rhythm section, which is, my first foot switch, okay? So I'll bypass it there, and I'll show you how to do this in a second. There's a really cool trick here. Hit done, And so then, of course, with, you know, leads, I want some delay, you know, so that all my mistakes can get repeated. So let's see what that sounds like right out of the box. Not bad, right out of the box. It sounds really good, you know, no problem. All right, so, but see, I don't want this delay on this particular setting, you know, because, I mean, this is my rhythm section, and I want a nice tight rhythm. And so I'm going to go ahead and bypass that and hit done. All right, so I think that's pretty good. I mean, we can keep going with effects, but I think you guys get the idea of what's going on here. So now it's like, all right, well, if I want my lead channel, I tap this and then do all this over again? No, I don't. That would be just too much work, and that's what's so nice about having a product that's made to be intuitive and simple. All I have to do is hold this down, you know, the button that's associated with the scene that I'm working on right now, and then you can copy it. It automatically copies it, and then it basically says press scene destination. Boom, I put it on destination B, which is the next foot switch. Now I have two of the same thing, and I can change this scene to whatever I want now. So for this scene, I want some delay for a big crunch kind of sound. I use delay on my rhythms as well to give it that nice big sound. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and turn the delay back on. So tap it, hit bypass, and now the parameters come up. I don't want as much feedback, so I'm going to go ahead and turn this switch here and turn the feedback down to maybe like, you know, 10%. So I just get a little bit of space with it, and it gives me that nice big sound that I like, but I don't want it interrupting my riffs, you know. Mix is 50%. Let's take that down a little bit. I mean, it's not bad, but you want it to sound too loud by itself, but just right in a mix. Let's go with 35, just for kicks. So you also have milliseconds here, so you just hit sync off, and then you can change the milliseconds to whatever you want. I kind of like the 500, so we're just going to keep that, and then turn the sync back on. And so now they'll sync quarter notes or whatever. So let me play a riff for you so you can hear what we got. Okay, that's a pretty healthy delay setting for a rhythm channel where you're just riding out some chords and you want the chorus like of the song to be really huge, you know, and you just want a little bit of, you know, different sound. So, all right, so let's go ahead and hit done. That's a done deal. So now we want to go and set up our lead channel. Remember, we have two amp captures on here. Okay, one's muted right now because I'm using that for my lead. So I'm going to go ahead and hold this down. It's going to automatically copy it, and then I'm going to push the next button, which is C, and now that whole thing that I just did is over here. And the reason why I copied the second scene is because the delay is already on. So all I have to do now is hit my amp that's on right now that I use for my rhythm channel and bypass it. I don't want that one on because now I'm going to hit done. Now I'm going to turn on channel 3 and unbypass that, and I'm going to go ahead and set the volume of that to be a little bit louder so I get my automatic lead boost, you know, because you know how sound guys are. They're too busy, you know, goofing off instead of turning you up. When your lead break comes up, they're too busy getting a beer or whatever. All right, so there, I just did his job for him. And I'm also, so I'm going to hit done. And on this one, obviously I want more delay because I make a lot of mistakes when I do solos, and I want people to hear those over and over and over and over again. So I want more feedback so that people get their money's worth out of all my horrible mistakes when I play, because I think that's awesome, you know. It's just a constant reminder that I'm human. So we're going to go ahead and turn that up to 50%. And I want maybe a bigger delay. So let's go ahead And you always want your trails on, by the way. So when you switch patches, your trails spill over. I hate that dry switch thing. It sucks. So let's go ahead and let's turn this up to like, normally it's 850, but on this one, for some reason, the milliseconds are longer at lower numbers for some reason. I don't know. Everybody's got different numbers, I guess. So let's go ahead and put the sync back on. So now we're at 704 milliseconds. Let's just see what that sounds like. Wow, that is a long feedback. Oh, you know what I did? I turned feedback up, but I meant to turn mix up. So keep the feedback around 30%. I was like, geez, that's like going forever. So let's turn the mix back up to 50%. On this, that's the magic number. On the Kemper, my lead mix for delay is 75%, but on this, it's 50 for some reason. It's just the way it is. All right, now let's try it. That sounds really good. I mean, again, with delays, you always want it to sound too much by itself and perfect in a mix. So there's that. Okay. So what I did is I just set up, you know, a good crunch rhythm. A crunch rhythm with some delay. And a lead. And that didn't take long at all. And I literally have not had this thing long enough to really deep dive into it and read manuals and all that crap. I didn't do any of it. I just figured it out real quick, and, you know, it was super simple. So, I mean, setting up your presets is very, very freaking easy. It's fun. You can get really creative with it. You know, let's say I want to add, let's go back to here, to my my big rhythm, and let's say I want to add some modulation. Okay, so here we go. Scroll down to modulation. The vintage chorus actually is pretty good, but see, it's in the wrong spot. It's after the delay, which is kind of a dumb place for it. So I don't have to do anything but just grab this by tapping it, and then I just swap places with it, just like that. You know, super simple. So let's hear what that sounds like. Sounds really good. I mean, it's a little heavy on the chorus, but no big deal because I can just turn it down. Turn down the mix right here. Let's just see what that sounds like. All right, that's pretty cool. So, and I can save that, you know, bypassed or, you know, or on in any of these three presets. So if I want chorus on my delay, which I typically don't do, I can have it there or not, depending. So I just hit bypass in that specific preset, and it's off, you know. So really simple. Now I'm going to show you something else real quick. But so let's say I want this, I feel like Fire Marshal Bill right now.
Let's just say you're doing the delay, and your hand starts on fire, like so.
All right, so you just grab this. Oh, got to hit done first. So now I want to put it before the amp. Let's see what that sounds like, because sometimes delay or chorus sounds good before an amp. Yeah, that sounds pretty good too. So with this particular pedal, you can put it before or after the amplifier, depending on your taste. Let me turn the mix up of the chorus a little bit. All right, now listen to what happens when I put it after the amp. If you're listening on stereo speakers or headphones, this is going to be kind of cool. gives it a little more width because it's probably like a stereo effect or something. That's what I'm guessing. But it definitely widens up a little bit and is a little less focused. So yeah, that's basically it right there. I mean, that's all you have to do. So you just go back here, and then now if I want to save this, there's a little, like a memory card or something up here. You hit save, and then you can name the preset. I'll just call it TW. Okay, and then you got to put more than a few letters in there. So let's see, what is this, Herbert? And then the save will turn blue. I don't know why they do that. It's like you only put 2 letters in there. The save button's not available until you fill it up a little bit more. It's a little strange, but whatever. So hit save, and there you go. Very, very freaking simple. So now when I go to it, I know TW Herbert is my Herbert capture with all the effects and different things that I set up for performance, and it's super freaking easy. So if you scroll up like I just did, so if I want to close this, so just take your finger, put it at the bottom of the screen, and just wipe up. So now you can name all 3, or all, what are these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all 8 of your switches, whatever you want. And it's simple because I'll do this again, scroll up, and now you're in, I think it's called performance mode or something like that. So there's a little pencil. So you just name it like crunch. Okay, and then hit save. So see, now there's a name there. And I can name this Big Crunch and name that like, lead or solo or whatever. So it's really simple. Like I just did that in a drop of a hat, I mean, it's very easy to do, and that's what I like about this this format is the tactile, version of it. It's, you're not pulling your hair out. You can get creative. And you know how when you're trying to get creative, but everything's in your way and it's just frustrating, and you end up leaving some creativity on the floor because it's just not worth the effort. It's just like, I'm so spent. My ears are done. My temper's up. My patience is over with. I just don't want to deal with this anymore. I had fun dealing with this last night. I worked all day yesterday, got home, and I knew I wasn't going to be able to go live because I was so just backed up on everything. And I profiled my Herbie, my Savage, and my EVH. I profiled 2 channels on each one, put them in here, set up 3 presets for you guys tonight, and I just sat here and did it, and it was like, dude, this is so freaking easy. It's like nothing to do. And not once was I pulling my hair out. Not once was I frustrated and spitting nails. And I was tired as hell, and I still got it all done. So that was really cool. And again, I didn't read a manual. I mean, the only cheating I did today was I watched Mitch Gallagher over at Sweetwater do his kind of... I love Mitch. He does really good tutorials and in-depth kind of reviews, and he's very... just gets right to the point and doesn't waste any words, So I just watched him do it once. And the thing is I didn't have to sit there and watch it 5 times. Like, it just makes sense. It's logical, It really makes a lot of sense, the way that you dial this in. And the fact that it's a touchscreen, we deal with touchscreens all day, every day now. So why have something that is archaic, when you can just pick this up and go, oh, I know how to operate this. It's a touchscreen. Very simple, So, yeah, very, very cool. Again, it sounds really good. So, let me read any comments here and catch up to you guys. Darren West, the output block glows when you play. Does that mean it's overloaded? I don't know, to be honest with you. I haven't really looked that far into it. I know it turns red. Like with my Helix, I know that it lights up too to show you that you have signal going through it. So I don't know what red means. I don't know if that's normal. I don't know what it is, but that's definitely something that I have to look into. Um, let's see, Bobcat, can you do an edge of breakup tone? I know that's one of the hardest things to replicate in the digital world versus tubes. I don't. I could try maybe. I don't even know what amps are in here yet. You know what I mean? To find that, I'll see what I can. Edge of breakup is like way out of my wheelhouse. I wouldn't know an edge of breakup amp if it slapped me across the face with a salmon. But I'll maybe I'll see what I'll see what I can do. You know, I'll see if I can find one. Let's see here. Tech Death Hippie says, I like your Diezel tone the best. Oh, it's so good. I mean, you should hear this thing in the room. It'll tear your head off, man. That amp is, like, relentless. That amp is ridiculous, man. Jeffrey Blanco, maybe use the boost on your guitar or an overdrive to see if that causes more compression. So then the limiter can be the issue. Yeah, let me see here. Let me see. Yeah, because I have a 20 dB boost on the guitar, and it's about the same. There's, you know, that's the thing. I mean, with new products, there's, you know, and again, I'm not saying this is true, but it's possible that there needs to be some sort of update to take care of that. You know, I mean, it's possible. You know, or somebody from Nero could, you know, message me tomorrow and say, hey, the issue you were having, just turn this knob and it's fixed. I mean, you have a high output guitar, it just takes care of it. So it could be that. It's you know, but that's just the way it is with new products. You know, there's not enough reviews or people doing stuff with them yet as far as the people running into that issue. I might be the first guy, you know, that ran into this, because these guitars, the pickups on these are freaking ridiculous. So yeah, it's possible that it could just be that, and no one's played this guitar through it yet, so they got to address it. But we'll find out, you know. Let's see here. Six String Brian, what about a cabinet? Well, when you do a capture, it's all in one. So like, I captured my Diezel through my Diezel cab, my Diezel amp through my Diezel cab, so it's all one block. But we can get into the cabs in a minute here when I go into a preset. You know, they're separate. Let's see here. Liam says, I've heard in the past that Nero plugins suffered from aliasing. Has the quad given you evidence of this? Good question. Let me see. Usually you could tell on single notes. Let me mute the mic so that doesn't interrupt. I'm not hearing any, but I don't know. Maybe people that are have better ears than me could hear it. I don't know, but I'm not hearing any aliasing that I know of. Jeffrey Blanco, the Majesty has awesome pickups. I know, dude. These pickups are amazing. I mean, people are like, "Oh, you should use active." I'm like, "Why?" It'd be a step down from these. These pickups are stupid. They're so good. Six String Brian, will you be selling your profiles? Yeah, I will definitely be doing that. You know, the thing is you know, the store, as far as I know, it's all cloud-based, okay? And the store, I guess, on the cloud hasn't been opened yet. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I guess I don't know what it takes, because you can't just put them on a thumb drive or email them to people. It's all through the cloud, which I think is good for profile makers, which means it's good for everybody, because if profile makers like myself and like Live Ready Sound and people like that, if they're if everybody's just going to give their stuff away, then they're just not going to make them. Why would they? I mean, I guess I shouldn't speak for them, but I wouldn't. I mean, it's a lot of work doing this. So, coming down here and spending 4 minutes per profile, profiling your amps. I mean, that's a $4,000 amp. That's a $1,000 cabinet. That robot that moves that mic in different positions for me so that I get accurate readings and accurate positions and multiple positions is almost $1,000. That mic and the mic that it's holding is only $120 or whatever, but the other mic is almost $600 that's on that. It's dual mic, and then all the other stuff involved in it. So yeah, and I'm small time compared to some of these other guys. So yeah, they're not just going to give those away. Why should they? But and I know that's not what you're inferring, but I'm just went on a little tangent there. But I mean, the reason why I said that is because if it goes through the cloud, you can only get them from there, and they're protected. They can't be shared, I guess, or something. And that's what Line 6 does with their stuff, and they protect their creators too. And I think that's a good thing. It really is. So I've heard some people in the community saying, "Oh, it should be free, and we should trade profiles with each other and stuff." And please don't take this the wrong way, but I don't want to trade, profiles that I make with this kind of equipment with some kid that has an SM57 in his basement, and he doesn't, he just kind of, check my stuff out. It's like me taking you to, Ruth Chris for dinner for $100, and you're repaying the favor with Mickey D's, And again, that sounds really arrogant, but I don't mean it to, but it is what it is, So, and sitting down here and making these profiles and stuff and doing all that, it takes time, so dialing everything in. So, but yeah, I will definitely be doing that, and I hope they open the store up and they have a supportive system for that. I've just been hearing a lot of different things about that, so I hope that they have a good marketplace for that. That would be really cool, because it's, and that's the thing too. On another note, like if they have people that like myself and other guys that want to actually come down here and spend an afternoon or a morning or whatever making really good top-notch captures, I guess what they call it, it's better for the product, because this product is only as good as the captures that are in it, if that's what you're playing. Just like the Kemper. I mean, you could play a crappy profile on the Kemper and say, well, this thing's a piece of junk. Well, it's not the Kemper's fault. It's like whoever made the profile. It's only as good as what's in it, So if they have a good ecosystem and a good market that supports profile makers, they're going to do their best to make good stuff. Otherwise, it's all going to be freebies, and you get what you pay for, right? I mean, that's the way it works. Jason Lewis says, Tone Wars, I had to step out for a minute. Did you solve the problem with the sag? No. Good question, but no, I haven't. So hopefully that will be something that people can address. Again, it could be something I'm doing wrong, but we'll find out. How's the feel compared to the Kemper? Tanner says, the feel is really good. I think they're pretty similar. They both have that nice, just that natural amp compression that you like when you play, that little bit of a chewiness. You can feel the pick kind of digging into the string, and that little bouncy kind of thing. They both have that. I'd say they're pretty equal. Now, without me putting them through an AB box, that's when you really tell, right? When you switch from one to the other and you're like, oh, and you're making all these micro adjustments with your hands, that's when you can really tell. But what I did is I profiled all these amps I captured all these amps with the QC, and then I, played all the riffs with it for my video, because it's already set up and ready to go. Why would I set it up twice, right? And then I took it out, unplugged it, and then I plugged the Kemper in and did all that with that. So there was a lot of time in between me playing each unit. So for me to know exactly how they compare, like, I couldn't tell you which one I prefer, but what I can say is when I played either one of them, I wasn't like, I don't know, man, what's this? I mean, they both felt really good. And I'm a huge feel guy. If something feels like crap, I will not play it. I just won't. I can't stand it. You know, it's like sticking your hand into a jar of spiders. Like, nope, not going in there. You know, let's see. Jeffrey Blanco says the sag doesn't seem to be related to the guitar's output signal strength since tried to boost, so it's not known. Yeah, so we'll find out. It might be an output thing. Maybe it's trying to keep it from clipping whatever you're plugging it into, and it might just be an algorithm they need to adjust or something. Paul Smith, I'm concerned about being on stage and the weird power goes out, and there's no way to reload your SMP. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. You know, I don't know how that would work. That's another interesting question, you know. KS, I've recently been told by Fryat that I can run an amp modeler through a passive FRFR using one of their clean tube power stations, KT88s. Curious to know your thoughts using FRFR with this. Yeah, I mean, I honestly, I did a video about, gosh, over a year ago now, I think, where do tubes matter or something like that, and I ran my Helix through a real tube power amp, and it just sounded so much better. So like if you run your modeler, so here's the thing though, if you're going to run your modeler or profiler or whatever through a real tube power section, you just want to use a real cab, unless you get like you know, like the I think that maybe that's might have been what you mentioned there. I know that Celestion makes some full range flat response speakers now that you could put in, even that Diezel cab. You could put them in there. You could put them in a Mesa cab. So you could do that, and the real tube power section will make a huge difference in how it sounds. It'll sound way better than running it through a solid state power amp and FRFR speakers. Solid state power amps have a weird sound to them. They don't sound good. Everything sounds kind of squished, and there's this weird, I can't even put my finger on it. There's this weird narrowness to it. They're just narrow, and it just doesn't sound right. And you don't really realize it until you A/B it with a tube power amp, and that's when you're like, oh my god. And I know it sounds like I'm sniffing corks, like, oh, you're just, you know, no, it's huge. The difference is like, you know, it's so big that you're never going to play through a solid state amp again, ever. You're going to just be like, no. In fact, I've done it so much now as far as the comparisons and stuff, like I could play through a solid state amp and I could just hear it now. I'm like, oh, there's that nasty, whatever, that wretched narrow sound that they have. They just don't sound good. And I'm trying to get a company to send me one of his little tube power amps up so I can review it and turn you guys onto it. But you know, I mean, we'll see what happens. You know, hopefully he sends that up to me someday, because I think there's a lot of people. I get that question every time I go live. You know, it's a great question too. You know, a lot of people, because these things are getting so popular now, you want something that you can, you know, run it through for power and not color your sound. And I'm telling you, tube power amp's the way to go. Let me tilt my phone here so I can get back to, there we go. Okay, yes, I currently use the Orange Pedal Baby. Yeah, I heard that that's actually a pretty decent one. Oh, so it's not good for limes, it's good for jam. Yeah, because that's the problem. Is like the what I've heard is I haven't played that one, but I played the other ones, and they clip. They just have this thing where it's just like they only give you so much, and they're like, nope, that's all. It's like a governor on it, you know. They just don't open up the way they should. Oh, Bobcat says, and solid state amps cannot do edge of breakup sounds. Yeah, it's possibly, yeah. It's possible, yeah. Yeah. So, all right. So here's what we'll do. I got 50 people here, so they probably want to hear some more stuff. So let me do this. So I showed you how to do that. I showed you how to set up a scene and all that, and I think it's freaking easy as hell. So let's do this. Let's go down. Let me go back to the amp cam. All right. So here is a Friedman. This is not a capture. This is an actual amp. I think it's a model. Let's see what this sounds like. Okay, so that's the Friedman. This is the I think it's the HBE or something. So, and I apologize for the screen. It's just, yeah, with the lights and stuff on me, it's just gonna wash out. But it shows you, you have the saturated, you have the sat switch, you have the voice switch, you have the C45, you have the fat switch, and then all the other typical stuff, you know, bass, mid, treble, master, presence. So that's kind of cool. And you have 2 pages on this amp. So you also have output on this one. Okay. So, yeah, so it lets you do all the stuff that the Friedman, I think is the HBE, has on it. So that's kind of cool. So let's go ahead and close out of this real quick. So it does give you all those options. Let me go back to here, and I'll show you what those options sound like. I don't know if there's a huge difference, but since you can't see the screen very well, and again, I apologize. I mean, I tried like hell to get this to work, and it's just one of those things tonight, you know. Yeah, I'll show you real quick. So that's like a better view, maybe. So go back to the washed out version. Always better. I wonder. Stuck battery under there. Nope, that's not gonna help at all. So, all right, that is what it is. All right, so let me show you. I'm gonna start with the fat switch, then I'm gonna do the C45, then the voice, then the sat switch. Fat, C45, voice, and sat. Just see what it sounds like. I'll turn each one on or off and on. Okay, the only one that really made a hill of beans difference to me was the sat switch. It opened it up more, you know, when I had it on. So, or when I had it off, that is. So that was about it. And this is going to give me fits now. Yeah, the wonderful world of crappy webcams. So let me go back to this. Okay, so yeah, it didn't really make a huge difference. Like I said, models are, they're just okay, you know. I mean, there's a reason why everybody's trying to do captures and profiles and stuff like that now. It's because they're just better, you know. So, are the models in here decent? Yeah, but I'll be honest with you guys. Here's another truth moment. If this thing only had models in it, I would not buy it at all. The only reason why I would buy this thing is because of the capture feature. Otherwise, it's just another modeler with 2-dimensional sounds and sort of okayish rusty string feel, you know, and you know, that's just all it would be. So I'm glad that they did the capture thing. Otherwise, I wouldn't even be talking about it, honestly, not at all. You know, so yeah, so that's basically that. You know, that unit. And now we're going to go up to, what do I have here? I had another one. Oh, here's a Mark II C+. Now, this is a capture. But oddly enough, this capture, you know, like when I did my captures, it was with the cab. So this might be a DI capture. I don't know, but I had to pick a cab for it, which I thought was kind of odd. But again, I'm still getting to know this thing, you know. So let's see what this sounds like. 1 second. Yeah, it's just okay. It's really freaking wretched. It's annoying. Don't like it at all. Maybe it's the cab. So let's get rid of this cab, and let's find another one. Let's go down to. God, that was like sharp as hell. It was awful. Cab. Let's go. Let's find another cab. Bear with me 1 second here. Let me go back to the amp. Let's go back to this here. So you have a pretty decent selection here. Here's a 412 oversized vintage 30. Let's see what that sounds like. Yeah, it's just okay. I'd say it's less than okay. I don't know what the deal is with it. I have a Mark II C Plus, and I know what it sounds like, and it does not sound like that. If that sounded like that, I would drop kick it out of my house. You know, so that's not really super good. I don't know what the deal is. It could be something I'm doing wrong, but I definitely do not like it. You know, that's the thing too. You know, when it comes down to why I think the capture feature is so good, even though this is a capture. Captures are so subjective. One man's junk is another man's treasure, you know, and vice versa. So basically, you know, if you have an amp, and I always tell people, if you're going to switch to modeling or profiling or whatever, always keep your amp. Always. Don't ever sell your amp. If you have several of them and you got to get rid of them, keep your favorites, or at least one of them. It keeps you grounded, and you can capture it with this the way you like it, mic'd, your cab, your room, your settings, everything, and you can nitpick it to death, and you're okay with that because it's yours. You know, otherwise you got to go with other people's stuff. And I mean, I'll even say that for me. I mean, there'll be people, when I make my captures for this and put them on the marketplace, there might be people that play them and go, this sounds like crap. I don't like it at all, because it's not their taste. I mean, it's just the way it is. But if you keep your amp, and because this is so easy to use, well, now you can capture it the way you like it and take it with you everywhere you go if you don't want to bring your amp and lug it around, you know? I mean, I say it all the time. If I played a local show around here, I got no problem bringing my Kemper to a show, because, you know, it's just a local show, and, you know, there's probably going to be 20 people there. So I'm not bringing a $4,000 amp to a show where there's 20 people. Sorry, not doing it. And if people say, well, if you bring, you know, you should bring your best. Why? You know, like, you know, oh, we're coming to your show because you're bringing your Diezel Herbert. Said no one ever. You know, they don't care. They're just there for the beer. So anyways, yeah, that didn't sound very good. But there's other captures in there, and there might be something more to your liking. But I just put some stuff in here just to show you a little bit of variety of what they offer. And it's also a good example of, like, you know, capture your own stuff. I mean, honestly, I think because this is so easy, everybody should capture their own amps. I mean, there's really no excuse not to now. It's so simple. All right, let me catch up to your comments here. Carrie, what's happening? There's my co-host. Where are you at, woman? I got your chair over there behind the camera. Carrie's taking the night off. Let's see here. Catching up to you guys. Sheldon, what happens if you only capture an amp head like behind you? I haven't done that yet, but I'm sure you can. And then you can run this into a power section, and then you can you know, run that into a real cab. So I'm sure you can do that. It's called a DI profile, is what Kemper does. So it'd be a DI capture, which is a direct capture. I'm sure you can do that, and that might be what some of these are. That's why the cab is not with it, and that's why I had to add the cab. If you're gonna do that, I mean, use a good tube amp and run it into your cab, and then it's gonna sound freaking amazing. You know, some people like that. Some people would rather have the direct capture and use a cab on stage. Now, if you use IEMs like I do, use in-ears, I mean, you don't need a cab on stage. Everything's right here, so it's nice. You know, it's just the way it is. Jeffrey says, I think the Boss Waza tube amp expander is actually a reactive load, so it's still using the amp's power tubes. Yeah, I think it adds to it as well. It soaks and adds. It's like a weird, it's kind of a cool product, you know. Let's see here. What's up, Sean Casey? Chad Boston, how you doing, man? Good to see you here. Thanks for the super chat. I appreciate it. Let's see here. Dust Devil, my 50-watt EVH Stealth is finally being shipped, being on back order for 6 weeks now, and I'm still happy with my Kemper. That's awesome, man. Yeah, man. A lot of amps are hard to get right now. I know guys that are waiting forever for Omegas right now. It's crazy. It's hard to get them parts, you know. All right, so let me go back. So we heard some of these presets in here. I mean, like I said, if this unit came out with just presets, it would just be a fun little toy to tweak, but you wouldn't really get a lot of good sounds yet. I know that the Nero plugins are supposed to be amazing. I've never played them, but I've always heard good things about them. When they put those in here, a lot of people are really going to like those, I'm sure, because people do like them on their computers. I know a lot of people use them. Again, I've never played them, but I've heard really good things about them. I want to see how they compare to the capture, you know, to the capture that I do, or other people do. I wonder if a capture is better than those. Some people have said that they're actually captures, but I don't know. There's, you know, how it's like the telephone game, right? By the time it gets around the room, it's, you know, whatever. But anyways, let me see what I got here. It's 9:41. Been on since 8. Wow, it's been a long night. I'm enjoying it though. Let me switch guitars. All right, I'll play another mix for you. I don't think I played my EVH yet, did I? My EVH capture. So let's see what that sounds like in a mix, and answer a few more questions, hang out for a minute, and then we'll call it a night. It's been a long day, and I still have to upload that other video, and I really encourage you guys to use it, or to watch it, and please watch everything, because there's some talking in there, but everything that I'm saying is for a reason, and I really want people to get something out of it, because there's a lot of context there, and there's also some things that I learned since I did my first comparison between the QC and the Kemper that I applied to this video and told you what I learned, how much of a difference it made, showed you examples of those differences, and applied it to the video. And I think you guys are in for a really cool you know, learning experience. And I don't mean that as a condescending thing, because I learned too. I'm just passing what I learned on to you guys, because it was a really eye-opening thing for myself. So let me go back to, where's my EVH here? There it is. Bam. Get this straightened out here. Alright, so I am on EVH Stealth. Alright, let me play a few riffs on that. Let's see what we got. Yeah, it's got a really thick, very rich kind of sound to it. I like it. You know, it's very reminiscent of my Stealth. I mean, I listen to my Stealth all the time through my aux and these speakers and in the room in my earbuds and everything, and I totally recognize the amp. It doesn't sound fake or off or anything. It does capture very well, you know. And the feel is there. I don't feel insecure playing it at all. It's great, you know. I was reading a comment, which I shouldn't do while I'm playing because it screws me up. XXXXXXXXX and 3 more X's said, would love to hear some proper old school metal tones from this thing. JCM 800 Soldano. There is a Soldano in here, and just for you, I'll do that. I'll pull one up in a second here, so bear with me 1 second and I'll do that. Huddles says, are they going to be able to import, I think, the plugins? Yes, I think that's coming in an update. They're going to put their plugins in it, which, again, I heard are very good. I've never played them, but I've heard good things about them. Sean Casey says, sounds good. Thanks, man. It does. It sounds really good. I'm very happy with it. And again, for me, the capture aspect of this thing was the saving grace for it. Without that, it's just a toy that just has some cool effects and a nice screen on it. You have to be able to capture your amps. I really think that technology is the way of the future. I really freaking do, because I've been doing this long enough to know that modeling is, I mean, it's all but dead. I just don't think there's any hope for it because it's two-dimensional, and captures are and profiling is way better. The feel, the sound. People say, "Oh, you can tweak models the way you want." No, you can't. Yeah, you could tweak them and stuff, but you can't tweak a third dimension into it. You know, and why would you want to get something that is kind of like I don't know, a blank canvas kind of thing, that you got to make sound good? I mean, look at all the stuff that's out there about modelers. There's so many videos about how to make it sound good, how to make it sound good. Well, I mean, no offense, but if I buy a product that's $1,700, or some of these are over $2,000, and now I got to learn how to make it sound good, you didn't build it right. If I got to sit here and call NASA and watch 100 videos to make it sound right, then you didn't build it right. Sorry, not sorry. I mean, with profiling, you profile the amp and it sounds right. You don't have to do anything else to it. Especially with this, you don't have to do the refining, which you do on the Kemper. And if you watch my video tonight, you'll find out what that's all about. Really cool information. And it's very easy to do on the Kemper, so not a big deal. But you get my point, right? I mean, you guys, you can go on YouTube right now and look up thousands of videos on how to make these sound right. And it's just, I'm not ragging on it and saying that they're junk. They're great products, but in this day and age with the tech that's out there now, people are expecting more. And I expected, I had my reservations with the QC. I was like, well, is it just going to be another Me Too product? Like, oh look, we do modeling too, or we make guitar sounds as well. And it's kind of like, well, if you're going to do that, and there's the thing like the Kemper out there and other products, it's like, if you're going to enter that race, you better at least be, I think, better. You better be better, because the Kemper's been out for almost 12 years now. So if you're going to come out with something that does kind of what that does, capturing, profiling, whatever, and if it's not better, it's like you wasted your time. You really did. I mean, because no one wants to make a lateral move. Like, yeah, but we got a screen, so what does it sound like? It sounds the same. It's kind of a lateral move. That's what they say. So, with jobs, like, why would you want to go start another job somewhere that's the same pay? It's like, no, you got to, ante up, buddy. I'm giving up some stuff here. I got to have something that makes me enticed to go over there. And it's the same with this. I don't want to make a lateral move. So I'm glad that they did that. And if you watch the video tonight, a lot of that stuff will be explained in there. But the thing that I like about this, in comparison to the Kemper, and all due respect to Christoph Kemper, what an amazing product that he's made, and it's almost 12 years old and it's still relevant. It's old tech in quotes, and I don't say that with disrespect. It's been around a long time, and it survived this long. What does that tell you? It's pretty freaking cool. And it still does a great job profiling the amplifier. So kudos, and without that tech and without him creating that, other people wouldn't be able to figure out how to sort of do it similar to that. But anyways, I mean, it was a tall order to come out and compete with that. But this here does capture the top end a little better, and the low end a little more realistically. But they're so close. I mean, they're so freaking close. It's almost a photo finish between the two, to be honest with you. Especially after the video I just shot today, it's almost photo finish. I mean, so you guys, don't do the fire sale on the Kempers just yet. I'm not even saying to wait, or I'm just saying like, oh, wait for a week or whatever. I'm just saying, do some more research, and don't get too excited about the hype. This is a great product. It really is. I want to see what it does in the next year. I really do, because it's just getting its legs, man. It just cracked out of the shell and it's learning how to walk, you know. So let's see what they have coming down the road. It still doesn't have a looper. It still doesn't have the array effects that I like to use. I'm not saying that I can't use this right now. I just did in several mixes. It sounds great, but there's stuff that my Kemper's doing right now, i.e. the looper. Also with different delays and stuff like that. There's no reverse delay on this that I know of. You need more choruses. You need more flangers. You know, there's just other things that it needs, and I know it will get, but they're just not there yet, you know. And there's a lot of hope for this because, I mean, it's brand new, and you know that they're going to be putting out tons of updates and stuff, and they're going to be exciting updates, you know? It's kind of like when you have a kid and they learn how to walk, they learn how to talk, they learn how to feed themselves and all that. It's kind of what we're going to go through with this. We're going to go through all those things, and it's exciting when it happens. So I'm excited for it, you know? I think it's going to be really cool. What was I going to do? Oh, I was going to... let me switch back to this other camera real quick. So I was going to find... Let me put my in-ears back in because... come on. Yeah, let me put these back in real quick, and then we'll close out after I do this. Really appreciate you guys being here tonight with me. It means a lot to me. Work really hard on putting these episodes together, believe it or not. And... appreciate you being here. You know, I haven't seen in a while, Scott Fulmer. I haven't seen his name in the chat in a while. I wonder where he's been. Hope he's doing okay. All right, there we go. Well, Scott, if you're watching, whether it's now or later, hello. I haven't seen you in a bit, man. I hope you're doing well. All right, so let me go back to this camera. All right, so let's go ahead and find... an amp guitar. There was a Soldano, I think it was a lead or something. I tried it the other night. It was decent. There it is. There it is, lead. So Soldano, lead. Now we got to pick a cabinet for it. So I'm just going to pick something simple here. There's a Zilla custom. Well, let's see what the Zilla is all about. So I remember it's on out 1 and 2, so I got to pick 3 and 4 because that's what I'm using. Let's see what this sounds like. Okay, let's pull up the amp. I got to turn the master up here. The output. Okay, so we got ourselves a Soldano, which is in dire need of an overdrive. Flubby flub. That's common. So let's pick that exotic again. That seems to be pretty cool. So let's turn the gain down here. It's about 2 on this one because Soldano's not a... People say it's a high gain amp, but compared to today's standards, it's not. It's a mid gain amp. So let's go down to utility, adaptive gate. There's our gate. Alright, I'm going to turn the mic off here. Okay, so yeah, that's the Soldano. Just a quick look at it, you know, pretty decent. You know, not a reason for me to buy this product. Again, the captures is why I would consider it big time, because I think that it captures very, very well. It really does a great job. You don't have to refine. You can just, I mean, seriously, you guys got to try it. If you got one of these, you got an amp, and you got a couple mics and stuff, dude, capture your freaking amp. It's fun. It really is. I mean, you'll be surprised at how easy it is. It just does all the work for you. You just push the button, go have a coffee, come back, it's done. You know, super simple. Let's see here. Jeffrey, Pull Me Under is always a good riff test to amps with. Yeah, it really is. That's why I use it. It's just a quintessential metal riff that just works. It's got the chugs, the chords, the slides. It's just like, that's the riff I test every amp with. It really is. Same thing with this other goofy thing that I've been doing. I do that a lot too, because you get the open strings and you want to hear that string separation, and you want to hear the strings like vibrating and stuff. I mean, that's what gives you that note separation, that definition. Like, is this amp, did all the strings clang together in this amp? Is there a lot of fizz in between them? Is there a lot of glue holding them together? Or do I hear that note separation? A lot of the riffs and even the songs that I write for this channel, there's a purpose for them. Like, there's a reason why I write those riffs. It's musical, but it's also, I'm testing things. I'm kicking tires, you know. So yeah, but you're right. That riff is like the quintessential riff. So is Enter Sandman, but if I play that on here, they'll automatically hit me with a strike. So I'm not going to do it. Huddles. Sorry I'm late. No worries, dude. No worries. Jeffrey Blanco, is the capture basically an impulse response of the amp? It's kind of like, I guess, and forgive me, people, you know, if I'm stepping on toes here, but it's kind of like the same thing that Kemper does. It's a profile of the amp and the cab and the mics associated with that rig all together. Now, another thing I'll mention too, something that's really cool is, let's say, you know, you have your amp and cab and your pedal board and stuff, and you're like, I don't want to, you know, lug this stuff around to do gigs and stuff, but man, I still love this overdrive pedal. This will capture your overdrive pedal. It won't capture time-based products or like, you know, like modulated type things, but it will capture distortion pedals and overdrive pedals. So that's nice. Now, I've seen people try it, and it's been hit and miss. You know, some pedals it just doesn't get along with, and some pedals it does perfectly. So there's, you know, there's probably going to be updates down the road where they fix that algorithm to do that. But that's cool to be able to, you know, and the nice thing about that is you don't have to wait for updates when they give you those pedals. It's like, no, you can update it yourself. So in a way, it's a self-updating product, because you can do your own pedal updates. Like, yeah, oh, next month when the update comes out, update 3.1, they're going to give us the, you know, the Horizon Devices Precision Drive. Well, I can do it right now. I can take my Precision Drive and capture it right now, and I did my own update. I didn't have to wait for it. The only caveat to that is it doesn't do every pedal perfectly. Some pedals it nails. Some pedals it's like, what the hell? So it just depends, you know. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. You know, let's see here. Okay, so Jim Moore says this has to upset amp builders having their stuff captured and shared all over. It's got to cut back on sales. You know, I've heard that before. Now, I can address that now, and I don't mind, and I appreciate your comment. And you definitely make a very interesting point. Look, I understand that. The funny thing is, I get this all the time. I get it probably several times a month where people message me and say, hey, I bought your profile pack and I liked the profile so much I actually bought the amp. There's a lot of guys that bought Badlanders because they bought my profile pack and they liked it so much they're like, well, this is that good. The amp has to be better. And yes, the amp is better. You can't beat an amp. It's the real deal. There's plenty of people that have bought profile packs and bought the amp because of it. Conversely, when I make profiles, I mean, I buy the amps, and that's the only reason why I buy the amp sometimes is, well, I'll buy this because I know it's a great amp and the profiles will sell and it's good for everybody. So it's good advertisement for the companies as well, because if the companies, there's companies that actually work with like Omega. Well, they have their amp in the Neural DSP universe. I mean, it's in there. Rev has worked with companies and getting their stuff out there. I mean, they have. So if amp builders hated this like crazy, trust me, they would not be working with these companies and having their amp. I mean, they worked with Line 6, Rev did, to have them model their amp. So, it's kind of a symbiotic thing. There are some guys that hate it, and I understand that. I really do. But, I'll put this out to all the amp builders right now. If you guys aren't creating your own legitimate, bona fide, certified, seal of the king profile packs to sell, you're stupid. You're crazy. Why aren't you doing this? You are so off. You're nuts. If I was an amp builder, the best thing that I could think of is if you can't beat them, join them. I would be like, all right, you guys want, my amp? Fine. I got 7 amps that I've built, and they're famous amps and whatever. I'll make my own profiles of this amp or captures or whatever, and you buy them from me at my store on my website, where whatever my amp name is, my company name is, and I'm going to sell them to you for a premium. You want my pack, the bona fide, certified, blah, blah, blah amp profiles or captures, it's $200. And you know what? People will do it. Because if that amp builder puts his seal of approval and his stamp of approval and his check mark on those profiles, you know that he's like, that's as good as it gets. I'm proud of how this is representing my amplifier. And you're going to make your money on those. If these guys aren't doing this, they're freaking crazy. They should be doing it. They really should. That's just my opinion. I'm a business owner. I got that gear in my head. I think that way. Some amp builders don't have a business gear. They have business managers that take care of all that stuff for them. They just like to tinker with circuits and tubes, But somebody in that office should come up with that, because if I'll give you an example. Like, well, I don't want to name names, okay? But if a company did that, and you all got a name in your head right now, you probably got 10 of them, you would buy those profiles or those captures. Don't tell me you wouldn't. Well, I got the bona fide ones. That's why even Celestion came out with their own IR packs. They're like, well, everybody's taking our speaker and giving IRs out. Well, we'll make our own. I mean, I'm not saying they're the best. I'm not saying they're the worst. It's still all subjective, but it's definitely a good IR pack worth buying, because it's their pack with their name on it that they did. Why wouldn't you buy that? I mean, it's just the way it is. So I just think it's smart business for these guys to do this. And if they don't, they're freaking nuts. But hey, what do I know? You have a great turnout. Oh, of course. Thank you. Well, you're here, so that makes it even better. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's been a fun night. It really has. It's been a great night. I've enjoyed hanging out with you guys. I'll stay on for a few more minutes and answer some more questions. Matt I think it's Beckman. I'm sorry, I don't have my glasses. The slow is a capture. I'm not sure. It's in there under amps. It's not under captures. There's 2 different segments. I'll show you. So when you pick, let's go ahead and get rid of this. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and choose an amp. So you have amps and neural captures. So it's in this section here, the Soldano. So there's like a Soldano crunch, Soldano lead, and then if you want captures, you go in here, and there's where all the captures are. So I'm assuming it's a model. I don't know, because I'm still learning this thing, but that's kind of what I'm assuming. Because I figured if it was a capture, it would be under captures. There are some captures in there. Let me put this camera back on. Let's go to Nero capture. So here's factory captures, and then here's mine. So let's go to the factory ones. Let's just go find something. Engl Energy. It's probably a fireball. Let's see what that sounds like. Sounds like it doesn't have an overdrive on, but it... Oh, yeah, no wonder it's almost clean. Yeah, so that's just an example. I mean, you have all kinds of different profiles, and I keep saying profile, but you know what I mean, captures and stuff like that in there. There's a pretty good list, but like I said, the ecosystem's just getting started. This thing's just learning how to walk, so it's a hatchling at this point. And hopefully they will open up the store to profile makers or capture makers, and they can start filling that up, because that's really what kept the Kemper alive. It really is. The updates and the quality and the algorithm, yes, all that stuff's great, but without profiles from professional profile makers, who knows what would have happened to it over the years. We love that variety. We love getting new profile packs, because to us, if you play that kind of stuff exclusively, digital platforms exclusively, it's like buying a new amp. You get it home and you're like, oh, I can't wait to play this, and you get inspired and you start writing stuff and playing, and you get excited about it, and it's cool. It really is. It's like Christmas comes, whenever you buy a new thing, it's Christmas again. So, but yeah, it's nice. So hopefully they'll have that going. If they keep it where it's all like, yeah, everybody just share stuff with each other. As good as that sounds, as kumbaya as that sounds, it's just not going to be good. The market's just going to have a bunch of crappy profiles in it. Because, I mean, no one's no one's going to spend this kind of money on gear to make profiles to just give away. Sorry, it's just not going to happen, So hopefully they get that straightened out. Let's see. Jeffrey Blanco says, the profiling and capturing is a great technology, and I agree it's the future, but it won't ever replace real amps and cabs, but it's very useful and practice thing. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you 100%. Like, I was playing my Engl today when I was doing, the episode, and I was playing my riffs so that I could compare it to the capture and the quad and the profile and the Kemper. And I actually sat and played it for a half an hour, because like I got so inspired, and I just put a smile on my face. Like, I wanted to play it more. I was bummed out when I had to stop playing so I could start editing. That amp is stupid. It's ridiculous. I mean, the thing that we all have to keep in mind is these are great, but what are you going to power it with? What are you going to plug it into? You need something to project the sound that this thing's making, whether it's a powered monitor, a powered FRFR speaker, a power amp and cab, or whatever. This all contains all that. You just plug it into a cab and you go. And that power is what makes it work. It's the thing. It's that synergetic thing inside. It's the heartbeat. It's the life force inside of that thing that makes that thing live and breathe. When I turn the quad Cortex on, as great as it is, I don't smell it. And I know this sounds really weird, but when I turn that Herbert on, dude, you can smell the ozone in the room from those tubes. You can smell like the electronics heating up. There's something going on. You can walk down here in this room from upstairs and be like, I smell an amp. Like, that's cool, And then when I hit my big chords and palm mutes and stuff, I mean, that cab is exploding right there. The walls shake, and it just sounds thunderous. I mean, you're not going to get that out of a modeler, I mean, you're just not. I mean, as good as these are, or even a profiler, as good as these are, what they are is they're a handy tool to use when you go on stage and you want to play in front of an audience, and you don't want to lug all this stuff, or like I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to bring a $4,000 amp in a $1,000 cab, and this pedal board that's got so much stuff on it, it's crazy. It's like $3,000 sitting in front of me with this pedal board on the floor here, and bring all that to a local gig. I'm just not going to do that, you know, and risk getting it broken, spilled beer on, stolen, tipped over, knocked into, whatever, when I could just bring a Kemper or maybe even a QC or whatever, slap it on the floor, do my gig, put, you know, walk out and get home, and I don't have 100 things to bring in the house when I'm home at 3 a.m., you know? So, you know, it just depends. Now, on a night where, you know, it's a packed out show and it's a big event for me, and I want to do something a little special for myself or whatever, then yeah, I might consider that. But other than that, nah, you know. And if anybody out there is like, oh, you're crazy, you should bring your best, yeah. Again, I've said it 1,000 times. Well, I'm going to that gig because he's bringing his Diezel Herbert. Said no one ever. Nobody cares. You know, only your music nerd friends care. Steve Shaheen, it's always Christmas at Jared's house. It kind of is, dude. What's going on, man? Good to see you here. Let's see. Jeffrey Bronco says, I think amp builders would like profiling because it shows how their amps sound to people who can't play the real amp. Yeah, it's a great business card, you know, a sonic business card for them. And I know, easy for me to say, right? You know, I'm not an amp builder, but I'm telling you, man, I'd be selling my profile packs, you know, if I was an amp builder. Oh my God, I'd be selling the crap out of them. And I would charge you up the yin-yang for them too. I would. If I was an amp builder, if you want my profile pack, you're going to pay, you know? And I'm okay with that because they're official. They're the official packs, and people will pay that price. You know? I mean, why not? That's how you make your money back, you know, as an amp builder. Like, well, we're missing a little bit of market because of this. Well, we'll put our own, you know, throw our own hat in the ring and make it back. So it'll make up for the amps that we don't sell at least a little bit. It'll supplement things. I mean, why not? You know, Jeffrey Blanco, hot tube amps have a nice, they do, man. That Diezel and that Engl, both of them, because they're high powered amps. Oh my God, they smell amazing, you know. Matt Beckman says, thanks, I'm getting a QC, and that is a bit disappointing that it is not a capture. Subscribed. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that. Yeah. Oh, are you talking about the thing I just did, the Soldano? Yeah, I mean, that's not a capture. That's just an amp model. But I'm sure once the market opens up, there'll be a ton of Soldano captures in there. I mean, there will be. I mean, you mark my words, once the market opens up, I'll be putting my amps in there, and I'll be capturing them and putting them in there. I'm proud of mine. I mean, they came out really good. I'm super happy with them. I mean, here's my Stealth again, right here. 1 second. That just sounds nasty, man. That is just disgusting. That's a blue channel, you know. And then here's the Herbie. And here is my favorite amp, the Savage. Well, my in-ears just died. The battery died in them. I just lost all sound in the middle of that riff there. Yeah, anyways, so that's, I mean, I think, should you buy this? I think it's a great product, but don't expect it to be full-blown when you get it. I mean, it has enough in there right now where I think you'd be really happy with it. But you're going to wait a while for the updates and all of their plugins and stuff to be put in there. Are they worth the wait? I hear they are. I haven't played them, so I don't ever speak of anything that I haven't played. All I can say is I hear good things about them, and I'm pretty sure that they are really good. But what I think the most exciting thing about this is the ease of use, the fact that you can have, two captures, run stereo rigs, multiple people can plug into it, and that's all fun and good and everything. But the nice thing is, I love how easy it is to set up, how easy it is to capture. It captures very well. It's fun to use. And is it fun to tweak? Yeah, but I'm not a big tweaker. Like, I want to play. I want to be a better guitar player. I don't want to be a good tweaker. I want to be a good guitar player. I don't want to be good at turning knobs and pushing buttons and calling my friends going, oh, look what I did. And, oh, that sounds really good. And, yeah, let's smell each other's fires. I'm not into that. I want to be a good guitar player. I don't care about... I can turn this knob and do this and put that there and move that over there and stand on my head and whistle Dixie and shoot spitwads out of a swirly straw, and suddenly my sound is 3% better. Who gives a crap, I want to profile one of my amps or capture one of my amps, do what I did earlier, add my overdrive, add my gate, add a couple effects to it, and play. And be like, done. I don't want a musical Rubik's Cube. I want to play through this. I want to be inspired. I want a looper that I can play chords on and go, because I don't know theory. I want, what kind of run can I do over this chord? I don't know. Well, let me loop the chord and then I'll play over it, and it just became a great writing tool. That's the kind of stuff I'm looking for. And hey, man, there's an open mic night here. Everybody's just getting together and playing to stuff. You want to come and show up. Well, if I got to bring an amp and a cab and this and that for an open mic night, I'm not going to go. But I can grab this or my Kemper and go, or my Helix or whatever, and slap it on the floor and go. That's not a problem. So I'm not going to miss out on opportunities like that because I have a convenient tool that I can use for those opportunities. But when I come home, that's home base. This is home base here. I play through these. I mean, because these are just stupid awesome, and I think that I do, I sell profiles and I'll be selling captures and stuff, but I think I do enough amp demos on this show and amp comparisons and go live with enough amps where I sleep good at night. There's plenty of people that buy amps because they like what they saw on this show. And I don't say that by bragging. I'm just saying that with the greatest amount of humility. Like, I do a lot for amps. I do a lot of promotion for amp companies. And it's because I genuinely believe in them. And I think that they're great. They're the best. And like I always say, no amp maker is trying to make an amp to sound like a Quad Cortex or a Kemper or an Axe FX. They're all trying to sound like amps. That's the difference. So who's the real deal here? Well, it's the amps, So never sell all your amps because you bought a modeler or a profiler. Never. You got to stay grounded. And you'll want to profile it again someday. You want to profile it with a different cab or different mic someday. And again, it keeps you grounded. It keeps you in reality, because the further away you get from real amps, the worse your tone's going to be. I don't care what anybody tells you. If you don't have an amp to compare your digital platform to, you're missing out. And I've been there. And so I'm telling you from experience. This isn't me just telling you stories. I literally was that guy. It's one of the reasons why I started this channel. You can't paint an oak tree while you live on Mars. It's too far away. You forgot what it looked like. You need one right in front of you. So I just think it's smart to keep one foot in the reality at least, So anyways, oh man. Okay, well, we got 52 people here. Let's see what do I have here. What guitar do I have? I'll end it with the song. And I'm going to do it with the Savage, capture. I really appreciate you guys being here. I'm going over time here. 1 second here. Monty's Adventures. I gotta disagree on that. I've never had better tones than I do with my FM3. All right. Well, I mean, if you're happy, here's the thing. If you're happy with what you have, then use it. Then go for it. That's all I can say. We'll use what works for you. But the FM3 is great. It's a good product. But you got to power it with something. You got to put it through something to project the sound. And I guess what I'm saying is with these amps, it's all in one. You just plug them into a cab and you go. But again, to each their own. No disrespect. I get it. But I hope you kept an amp around. So you can compare it to that, so you can stay grounded. That's all I'm saying. Let me see what I got here. Give me a second here. I'll play a couple riffs and do a song. Oh, that was fun. Marty says, I still love you, though. Love you too, buddy. I get it, man. That's the thing. Everybody should just play what works best for them. I have gone to so many shows, and I think Friedman makes really good amps. They don't work for me, and it's not because they're not good. It's because every time I plug into one, it just doesn't fit my playing style. I like that extra amount of aggression, and they're a little smooth for me for what I do. But every time I go to a show and see a guy play a Friedman, I'm just like, oh my God, it sounds so freaking good. Gosh, it just sounds amazing. And it inspires me to go, I got to try one of those. maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm doing something wrong, blah, blah, blah. And I plug into it, and I'm like, I think I broke it. Because it just doesn't sound as good when I play it as it does when other people play it. Because it fits their playing style and their riffs and all that stuff better. Style of music, whatever. But it works for them. So for me to go to them and say, well, you should play, you should play an Engl Savage, or a Herbert or whatever. And for them, it'd be the same thing. Like, man, it sounds good when you do it. But when I play through it, it just doesn't sound right for me. So it's just one of those things. So the main thing that all of us have to do is keep in mind, like, play what works best for you, because you're going to play your best and sound your best when you're playing something that suits your tastes and your needs the best. And a lot of people get caught up in the hype of like, well, I got to buy this because everybody else thinks it's amazing. Well, what do you think? If you think it's amazing, then go buy it. If you don't, then don't. I mean, if you sound amazing through an FM3, then by all means, keep it, play it, and enjoy it. And you've found what works best for you. And that's really what it's all about, Cold damn beer, what's up, man? Dunk out tonight. Let's hear some good shizzle. Yeah, I played, man. Yeah, I've been on for 2.5 hours. Well, hopefully that mix I just played for you will work for you. It's been a long day, dude. I've gone 5 days now on 5 hours of sleep a night, and it's really caught up to me. Today's been a long day. Thuggernaut. Now that's some savage tone. Good stuff, and apologies for being late. No problem, dude. I'm just glad you're here, bro. Yeah, I'm glad you're here. I don't have anything else I can play on this guitar. Everything else is on the other guitar. But I think I played enough stuff here. Tonight I started out the show with some mixes and stuff. So I'm going to wrap it up here. It's 10:30. I've been on for 2.5 hours. Good Lord. I'm surprised I'm still awake. So, all right. So, keep your eye out for Quad Cortex versus Kemper redo. It's a redux or whatever you want to call it. It's uploading as soon as I close out the show. I'm going to go over there and click upload. And that'll be up within an hour. And you got to watch that. Watch every second of it. There's a lot of great information in there. I know I sound like I'm patting myself on the back, but I'm not. There's a lot of stuff I learned from doing the first episode that I took down so that I could do it better. Because some people reached out to me and pointed out some things, and I'm very grateful for that, because I want to give you guys the best content that I can. That's very informative, scientifically true, and fair, and all that kind of stuff. So this episode, if you thought that other episode was good, this one's way better. It's more informative, and it's extremely fair, and everything's about as accurate as you can get it. I worked on it from 7 a.m. till 5 p.m. tonight. So keep your eyes open for that, and I look forward to seeing your comments on there. Okay? Well, guys, I'm going to get out of here. I am so... Sean Casey, thanks, buddy. Appreciate that. I'm going to get out of here. I'm beat. And thank you so much. I know there's a lot of places you could be hanging out tonight, and you chose to hang out here, and I'm honored and privileged to have you here. It really means a lot to me. If you haven't subscribed, please do. I got lots of stuff coming up, lots of shootouts and different things. And we're going to have a fight night between the QC and the Kemper on the 11th. So we're gearing up for that, so don't miss that. All right, guys, God bless you guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. I appreciate you all very much. Every day's a gift, and thank you so much for spending part of yours with me. I will see you all very soon.